Hello there, thank you for joining our nightly news program live from Algiers. In tonight's top stories. Algerian President Abdelmadjid Tebboune commences key state visit to China, strengthening bilateral ties and economic cooperation. Also coming up, ongoing clashes and shelling rock Omdurman amid fragile peace efforts, 5 killed and 22 injured. Also coming up, Russia suspends participation in Black Sea Grain Initiative, raising concerns over global grain exports. And North Africa faces record heat wave. Heat storm Sharon sweeps region, and Spain hits 60+ degrees Celsius. Hello again and welcome to the program. First off in our news, Algerian President Abdelmadjid Tebboune touched down in Beijing on Monday, embarking on a significant state visit to China at the gracious invitation of Chinese President Xi Jinping. The Algerian presidency issued a statement emphasizing the visit's paramount objective to fortify the robust and enduring bilateral ties while fostering enhanced economic cooperation between the two nations. And on this occasion, I invite you to delve into the remarkable biography of President Xi Jinping, the visionary at the helm of China's modern Renaissance. Let's follow.
请宣誓。
Described by the Chinese media as the most powerful man since the founding leader Mao Zedong, President Xi Jinping is leading China's modern Renaissance. As the son of a veteran communist warrior, Xi was sent to the countryside as a teenager during the Cultural Revolution. He worked as a farmer before the Communist Party opened its doors to him, allowing him to climb the ladder of glory, carrying the Chinese dream or the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation as his political slogan, leading the second largest economy in the world. He was elected as the country's president in 2013 and re-elected for a second term in 2018, followed by a third term. Over the course of 10 years, China has transformed from an unreliable friend in the eyes of the West to a strategic competitor, reflecting Xi's vision for his country, a pivotal role for a united China that resurges alongside or surpasses the West. Xi Jinping aspires to break the unilateral hegemony and establish the foundations of a new multipolar world order. This desire has grown stronger with China's emergence as a major economic power, financing and investing globally through the Belt and Road Initiative. China has also become a political actor that exports stability to complex regions and opposes colonialism while defending the rights of oppressed peoples. Xi advocates for a two-state solution in occupied Palestine and has achieved an unprecedented breakthrough in the Middle East through Saudi-Iranian agreement, which had failed under various initiatives for decades. Amidst the ongoing Ukrainian war and military escalation in the Taiwan Strait and the South China Sea, Xi Jinping has successfully positioned his country as the center of international media attention. China has become a stabilizing force in a politically and economically turbulent world. These scenes depict Beijing's central role in shaping the desired global order, a moment where Xi Jinping claims to witness a change not seen in the past 100 years, and he is one of the leaders driving this transformation.
To other news now, the Polisario Front made a significant impact at the 59th Congress of the National Union of Brazilian Students. The Front's representative in Brazil, Ahmed Mulay Ali, delivered a compelling presentation during the conference held from July 12th to the 16th in Brasilia. He highlighted crucial developments concerning the Sahrawi people's struggle and their just cause. Mansour Omar, a prominent figure in the Polisario Front as a member of the National Secretariat and its representative in Europe and the European Union, unequivocally stated that the 4-year agreement and fisheries protocol between Morocco and the EU amounted to a blatant violation of the Sahrawi people's right to self-determination and the principle of permanent sovereignty over their natural resources. The European Court of Justice had deemed this association as illegal.
The protocol includes the granting of 128 fishing licenses, including 93 licenses for Spanish boats, and these licenses were only a permit for systematic looting along the 1,200 kilometer of the Sahrawi coast in flagrant violation of all laws.
According to an official Moroccan report from the High Commission for Planning released on Monday, over 44% of households in the country resorted to taking on debt to cope with expenses during the second quarter of this year. The report also highlighted that a staggering number or percentage of 87% of Moroccan families experienced a decline in their standard of living in the past 12 months. Moreover, only 53% of families believe their income adequately covers their expenditures, while 44% have to rely on debt to meet their financial needs. The European Union has approved $1 billion in funds for Tunisia, subject to IMF conditions. An official source mentioned Tunisia could obtain an additional 900 million euros pending IMF negotiations in quarter number 3 this year. Talks for a $1.9 billion IMF loan have stalled since October due to President Qais Said's rejection of subsidy and salary cut conditions for public sector workers. The situation remains under scrutiny as negotiations continue. Amid escalating tensions, clashes erupted between Palestinian residents and Zionist occupation forces in Al Fawar camp, south of Hebron. One Palestinian youth sustained severe injuries from live bullets and was taken to the hospital. 14 Palestinians were arrested in other parts of the West Bank, including 3 from Jericho and Kalandia refugee camp, 6 from Jenin and Ramallah, and 5 from Hebron. The region remains volatile and apprehensive as the situation unfolds. Moving on, despite the ongoing truce attempts and negotiations between Sudan's rival factions, Omdurman is once again a battleground with renewed clashes since Monday. The situation escalated with army artillery shells hitting rapid support sites and forces targeting a hospital in the city. 5 fatalities and 22 injuries were reported among civilians and military personnel. The tense situation in Omdurman continues to be a concern amid fragile peace efforts.
Today, the rebel paramilitaries targeted with drone the emergency and casualty complex at the medical weapon hospital in Omdurman, killing 5 patients and injuring 22, most of them civilians.
In a significant move, Russia has decided to suspend its involvement in the UN-brokered Black Sea Grain Initiative, opting to prioritize its own agricultural shipments. This development has sparked concerns over Russia's dominion in the Black Sea region and its potential ramifications on worldwide grain exports. This is Sofia Kinturi reporting.
Antonio Guterres.
Russia has suspended its participation in the Black Sea Grain Initiative, facilitated by the United Nations, which allows Ukraine to export its grain through the Black Sea. Kremlin's Dmitry Peskov announced the suspension on Monday, citing the need of Russia's own agricultural shipments to be prioritized.
In fact, the Black Sea Agreement ceased to be valid today. As the Russian president said earlier, the deadline was July 17. Unfortunately, the part concerning Russia, these Black Sea Agreements, has not been implemented so far. Therefore, its action is terminated.
Russia's decision raised concerns and attracted attention from various international figures. For instance, Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, revealed he had sent a letter to Russian president proposing a new plan. However, no response was received from the Russian government.
I deeply regret the decision by the Russian Federation to terminate the implementation of the Black Sea Initiative, including the withdrawal of Russian security guarantees for navigation in the northwestern part of the Black Sea.
For their part, the EU's foreign policy chief Joseph Borrell and EU Council President Charles Michel condemned Russia's announcement.
I am so sorry to say that today Russia has refused to prolong this deal. And this is something very serious that will create a lot of troubles to many people around the world.
The support from the EU for Ukraine is very firm and very clear, and it will never change. This is one first element. Point two, I'm very pleased that the vast majority of the Latin American countries, they've voted in favor of the resolutions in the General Assembly which condemned Russia. This is a clear and a powerful signal. Even if this is not unanimity, this is a powerful signal.
Despite Russia's decision, Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan expressed optimism, saying that he believed Russian President Vladimir Putin wants the continuation of the Black Sea grain deal, and added that he will discuss it when they meet in person in August.
In the same context, global wheat prices experienced a significant surge on Monday following Russia's decision to halt its participation in the Black Sea grain export agreement. The price of wheat for September delivery soared by over 4%, reaching $683 per bushel. This development has raised concerns among traders and stakeholders about the impact of Russia's move on the international grain market. Amid Russia's decision to suspend the Black Sea grain export agreement, the White House has expressed deep concerns, emphasizing that the move could exacerbate food security issues and adversely affect millions. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken echoed these sentiments, denouncing Russia's decision as unconscionable. He urged for the restoration of the pact between Russia and Ukraine as swiftly as possible. The situation remains closely monitored as the impact on global food markets continues to draw attention.
Really needed, and
Russia has dealt another blow to the world's most vulnerable, this time by suspending its participation in the Black Sea Grain Initiative. This is really another act of cruelty.
I hope that every country is watching this very closely. They will see that Russia is responsible for denying food to people who are desperately need it around the world, and to contribute to rising prices at a time when many countries continue to experience very difficult inflation.
For its part, China hopes that the Black Sea grain deal will continue to be implemented in a balanced, full, and effective manner. China added that the country put forward the Cooperation Initiative on Global Food Security and would like to have more communication and cooperation with parties on this to help build more international consensus and contribute to global food security.
China hopes that the Black Sea grain deal will continue to be implemented in a balanced, full and effective manner. China puts forward the Cooperation Initiative on Global Food Security and would like to have more communication and cooperation with parties on this to help build more international consensus and contribute to global food security.
Russia stated on Monday that a Ukrainian attack on Moscow-built bridge linking annexed Crimea to the Russian mainland killed a civilian couple and wounded their child. Moscow said 2 drones had hit the bridge in the early hours of Monday and blamed the Kiev regime. Osama Ayadi with the full details.
On Monday, a tragic attack on the Crimean bridge claimed 2 lives and left 1 person injured. Russia's anti-terrorist committee quickly accused the Ukrainian forces of executing the operation using drones on the water surface.
Another terrorist act was committed on the bridge last night. Civilians were killed, a child was wounded and left without parents. The family came to Crimea from the Volgorod region.
The incident prompted the Russian Ministry of Transport to launch an investigation, classifying it as a terrorist attack. While the road surface on the Crimean side of the bridge was confirmed to be damaged, officials denied reports suggesting the bridge supports were affected.
About the emergency on the Crimean bridge, the car traffic on the Crimean bridge has been stopped. The reasons are being investigated. Law enforcement agencies, emergency services, and Krasnodar region competent bodies are working on site, as well as Ministry of Transportation of Russia and Crimea Republic.
Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov confirmed that the Russian president received a comprehensive briefing on the situation. He squarely pointed fingers at the Ukrainian forces, accusing them of responsibility for the attack and warning of Moscow's intention to prevent such acts in the future.
The Russian president gave orders to organize the traffic on Crimean direction and to provide for help and assistance to people who are on the road. Putin has also ordered the repairs on the bridge to be organized on the Crimean bridge.
Of course, there will be a response from Russia. The Defense Ministry is preparing relevant proposals.
The Crimean Bridge holds immense significance as it connects Russia with the Crimean Peninsula, which came under Russian control in 2014, also known as the Kerch Bridge. This nearly 12-mile crossing serves as a vital supply line for Russia's military operation in Ukraine. Various Ukrainian officials speaking anonymously have also implicated Kyiv in the attack, and this marks the second such incident on the bridge amid the ongoing 18-month military confrontations between the Russian and Ukrainian forces, primarily centered in eastern Ukraine.
In a significant development, Kiev announced on Monday that Ukrainian forces reclaimed 7 square kilometers of territory in the eastern city of Bakhmut, previously held by Russian forces since May. Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar reported consistent advancement on the southern flank during the past week, resulting in a total liberation of 31 square kilometers. The situation remains dynamic as the conflict continues in the region. In other news, Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Nasser Kanani made a significant statement on Monday, reaffirming that the possibility of dialogue concerning the nuclear agreement remains open. Speaking during a press conference in Tehran, Kanani emphasized that an agreement is attainable if Washington refrains from actions that could destabilize regional security and escalate tensions. The situation continues to be closely monitored as diplomatic efforts persist in addressing the nuclear deal.
The path of dialogue to settle the nuclear file is still open, and we will not leave any diplomatic opportunity to secure our rights. Reaching an agreement on the nuclear file is possible, and the matter depends on Washington's decision. But the United States must show its will and determination in this field. Washington must refrain from doing anything. Interfering in the affairs of the region is not constructive and raises tension. Iran is following steps and move in the region with great sensitivity.
A record-breaking heat wave is engulfing North African countries, accompanied by the heat storm Sharon sweeping through the region. Satellite data revealed that certain areas in Spain experienced temperatures surpassing 60 degrees Celsius during this deadly heat wave that is also affecting Europe. This is Zara Ferjani with the report.
The infamous 1980 United States heat wave is back, and this time it's not confined to the Midwest and the southern plains. The heat dome is expanding its reach, now affecting regions globally, including North Africa. The heat wave is a weather phenomenon where lower atmospheric layers experience scorching temperatures while the upper layers remain surprisingly cool. This creates a high-pressure zone, trapping the hot air, and the sun only intensifies the heat by compressing it.
We saw a serious heat wave last summer. We saw a serious heat wave previous to that as well, but it's getting worse and worse. And we are locked into some of these changes. Certainly, we should immediately stop pumping greenhouse gases into the atmosphere because that is going to cause even more problems in the future. But we must realise we're locked into some of these changes now, and we will continue to see records broken.
Now the heat dome's impact has been amplified by a new storm called Sharon for North Africa, targeting Europe. Italy, Spain, Britain and Greece are on high alerts as experts predict temperatures surpassing a blistering 45 degrees Celsius in the shade.
This is not normal. As a resident from Simeone, I don't remember such an intense heat, especially at this time of the year.
And there's a lot of people. Hopefully no one will suffer any illness, but it was very intense heat. Yeah.
This intense heat is just one aspect of the climate change puzzle. Day by day, climate change becomes an undeniable reality, and the scientists are sounding the alarm. If we don't take immediate action, we'll face more disasters, and we will be left searching for ways to prevent future catastrophes. The climate crisis is real and time is running out. Let's unite, take action, and protect our planet before it's too late.
And in related matter, South Korea has been grappling with relentless torrential rains in the past week, resulting in a devastating death toll of 40 people, with 9 individuals still reported missing. The catastrophic flooding has necessitated large-scale evacuations to safeguard the affected residents. In response to the dire situation, authorities have relocated 8,852 people from 14 cities and provinces to safer areas away from the flood-stricken neighborhoods. The situation remains critical as rescue and relief efforts continue.
We all need to take the situation gravely and mobilize all available resources. In particular, please make every effort in the field to ensure that the rescue is carried out quickly.
And now let's take a quick look at more news making headlines around the world. Here's the news in brief with Salma Nasib.
Firefighters using planes and helicopters tackled the wildfire raging on the island of La Palma from the air. The forest forced the evacuation of 4,000 people, of which the majority have been relocated. Water-dropping planes and helicopters tackled the flames near Lagunisi, threatened vacation homes near Athens, with gusts of wind pushing flames through hillside scrub and pine forest parched by extreme heat. South China's Guangdong province is on high alert as Typhoon Talim is expected to make landfall. All departments in Shenzhen city of Guangdong have entered an emergency response state and made various preparations. 55 whales have died and 1 is believed to have survived in Scotland after being stranded on a beach on the Isle of Lewis. However, following attempts to refloat, more than a dozen living whales were unsuccessful. 3 days left until the Women's World Cup begins in Australia and New Zealand, the first tournament to have more than one host nation. This is the first Women's World Cup to include 32 teams in Sydney. There will be 64 matches to be played across 9 cities, 5 in Australia and 4 in New Zealand.
Well, we reached the end of our nightly news program. For more latest updates, visit our social media platforms. Thank you for watching and join us again tomorrow for more news. Good night.